Hello and welcome to another Saturday night here at WOMO as we get set for 11 races this evening. Looking forward to it. The open pace will go tonight as race number 9 on the card to kick off the final pick 3. And also want to remind everybody that we have a really big carryover in that jackpot high five. It continues to grow. We're at 147,000 and counting. So make sure that you get your tickets in order for that race and keep your eye on the crawl as well because we do have a scratch from that race. Call me. It is out of the 10th and final, a weather scratch today. And speaking of weather, don't let the sunshine fool you. It is chilly outside as we bring Randy Waples into the mix as well. Randy, cool day today, obviously. We've been dealing with this for so long. I was saying to you off camera, I can't wait until I can, kind of get out of my snow pants and start to just put some regular clothes back on again. It's been so cold.
Yeah, we've been spoiled because before this winter even started, I remember reading one thing where somebody said that you're going to have a winter like we used to have back in the 70s and 80s, and they didn't lie. I mean, I haven't remembered a winter like this in a long time, but this is the way winter was, right? It got cold. We got all kinds of snow, and it stayed cold till April. And then it became spring.
I know.
Seems now like we get like a light winter, but it carries right on till June.
Well,
maybe we'll get lucky this year and winter will be over.
Spring.
Yeah,
last year,
maybe
right?
this year we will.
We just went straight from winter to summer, right? And that's hard on the horses.
It is.
As well, because they just don't get that chance to get, acquainted. Now, the other thing that happened yesterday, and I know you guys were obviously here doing the races, but it was opening ceremonies for the Winter Olympics, and you are a big fan of the Winter Olympics, as am I. What's your favorite sport to watch?
In the Winter Olympics? I'm pretty good with them all, really. Like, I like skiing, I like figure skating. In the Summer Olympics, I can narrow it down to one.
Yeah? Gymnastics?
No.
No?
Oh, that's close. That's close. Yeah, actually, sort of the same. Dressage.
Oh, you like the dressage,
That is
Snoop
by
Dogg?
far. I could sit there all day and watch dressage. I find it amazing that those horses can be that light on their feet.
Yeah. It takes years to train them how to do that. You know what I really enjoy are some of the sports we don't see very often, like luge.
Yeah.
How those guys can do that, go ripping down those things, and they're going 100 and so. You know what I heard the other day was that the downhill racers, because Lindsey Vonn is going to compete without an ACL. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. They were getting up to speeds of 150. Come on. That's awfully fast.
That is going pretty quick. Yeah. Well, on a pair of skis.
Yeah, you got to admire. You got to admire all those athletes that are competing, and the Canadian girls. By the way, they happened to win the hockey game
against
this afternoon.
Switzerland.
They destroyed them.
Yes.
I mean, I don't want to say destroyed them. They didn't win by leaps and
The last
bounds.
10 minutes, they destroyed them.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like shots on net for us were like 45 shots on net.
To
they had
5 or something.
Exactly. Yeah. So we are really dominating in that game and hoping for some medals coming our way as well. Now, what do we have coming up for you tonight? Well, 11 races in total. The feature race being the open pace. That'll come up as race number 9 on the card. And then looking back at yesterday, well, it's a tough day to look back on yesterday because we couldn't see that much with the snow.
No, it was horrible. And I didn't even realize we were supposed to get snow. And then all of a sudden it came in and they were the big flakes the size of bats. And, the only thing it was good about it, though, was that when I went out to sweep my car off, I realized as soon as I slammed the door, all the snow fell off.
It was light.
It was so light.
Yeah.
So that was good.
We didn't get snow where I live, but we got a lot of wind, and that certainly made for a lot of that snow because it is so light just to blow all over the place. Style for a Mile was a lovely winner in yesterday's open pace for the girls, and this was a significant win for Daryl Thiessen as well.
Yeah, he says that was his first open race on this circuit, and Jeff talked to him briefly, Jeff Bratt, and he said that Daryl was just absolutely pumped. Daryl's kind of, he's a little bit infectious there because he reminds me of when I was a kid and it all was so new and
exciting.
glitzy and, the whole deal. And that's the way that he is, and I love the attitude that he brings, and nice win. So that's his first open open win on our circuit, and I got a feeling that's going to be the first of many open wins for Mr. Thiessen.
Yeah, he's been a really nice addition here to this
Yes.
colony, and hopefully, he's starting to catch a few eyeballs as well.
I think so.
There you go.
Yeah, there he is. There's the man himself.
He's had a pretty cool career too. If you want to look up a guy who's done some amazing things, he's an
Yeah.
adrenaline junkie for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I know one thing there. You could probably stand him on a set of train tracks and it wouldn't scare him with the jobs that he's had before.
Speaking about people who have been doing some good things, we want to talk about Team Cullen. I know we're going to refer to Jody tonight because she is the trainer, but it's a team over there, and it's a family over there as well. Jody's sister's been in town. You said from Winnipeg, right? She's been doing a lot of work over there. Of course, so Team Cullen has had a phenomenal 2026 campaign.
It is, yeah. Really, really big start to their season. They ended their season last year huge.
Yeah.
And the momentum's carried right on through January. There was basically no turning of the page there. So let's take a look at Mrs. Cullen's night tonight. She's going to have 7 entries tonight, and in race number 1, she's got Blue Bar, and I'm putting him in for second. You got him right on top.
I sure do. I like this horse here tonight, and this Blue Bar's looking for back-to-back wins. Travis is going to drive this horse, obviously, but sometimes we'll see races where Cullen has multiple horses in there, and we don't always see Travis. But this horse was a winner over Blazing Cruiser, who he's going to compete against again this evening, and he'll come out from the 1 hole.
Okay, race number 3, number 4, Wanna Be a Big Star. I didn't use him in there, but you got him in for second.
My theory, and I've been talking about this quite a bit, is if I don't know where to go, I just use a Cullen horse.
That's not a bad theory this year, I'll say. Okay, in race number 5, Pipe Prince Charlie, you got him in for third. I liked the way he raced last week. I was a little shocked at the 10-1 morning line, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, and he's here, but I mean, the horse I like up on top is Code Cracker. Now he's also in the 5th race.
Yeah, that's coming up there.
He's doing phenomenal.
Right. So you used both Cullen horses in race 5.
I went first and third with the Cullen horses.
Right. I went first with Code Cracker, but wasn't using Pipe Prince Charlie. But I really liked the way that he raced in his last. Oh my goodness, you're all over these Cullen horses. Race number 8, Elliott Moose.
It's one of my favorite barns to play right now. If it's not Maneri, it's Cullen, that's for sure. And Elliott Moose will be in race number 8. In the 9th race, they've got Dublin Dasher. And Dublin Dasher was a winner of the Open last week. But we were missing quite a few significant players from the Open last week. We didn't have Brew Hanover. We didn't have It Saturday Night. And we didn't have Pacino in last week either.
No, and Dublin Dasher, he's going to have to deal with the rail tonight there. So he maybe doesn't get away in the very best spot in that tough field.
And then, is that how they end their night, or did they have more? Yeah, they have Pacino, of course, in the 9th race, but nothing in the 10th, and I don't think they're in the 11th. So, yeah, they'll get out of here after the Open pace for the night tonight, but no doubt about it.
She's got a busy night, though.
Yeah, and no doubt about it. Their season has been so strong. And it's not like we're getting 1 win a night. They're doubling up or tripling up on some occasions.
Yeah, they remind me when I used to drive for Robinson there, I used to call them Team Robinson, because what would happen is one groom would come off the track with their horse, and all the rest of the grooms that were there that night would just swarm that horse. They'd help that groom strip. Then when when the groom had to bath it, then the other one was cleaning the harness, and it was just all a big team effort. And I see the same thing with Cullens every night in the paddock. They treat it like a team effort. You know what I mean? They'll swarm. A bunch of them will swarm a horse, strip it, get it going. You know, the whole way that they do their operation there, and they're hard workers. They're go-getters.
Yeah, and it's paying off for them in a big way. All right, let's get started with the handicapping for tonight. As mentioned, 11 races. I would imagine we'll have some quick post parades tonight, so we'll try our best to keep, obviously, our equine athletes in tip-top condition, as well as our human athletes tonight as well, because it is very chilly out there. First race on the program for 5-year-olds and younger nominators of $3,000 or $60,000 in a field of 10. You got Cullens with Blue Bar in this spot tonight, who's looking for the repeat.
Yeah, I got him in for second. I mean, I like him in here. You know, obviously we've been talking about the barn, and the horses are racing really good, but he does draw the outside. This is the furthest out that he's been in a while. His last start was the furthest out he'd been in a while, and that was the 6-hole, but no issues. But the 6-hole and the 9-hole, a little bit different on our circuit. So I'm going to play against him. I'm going to throw him in for second. You went Blue Bar?
I did, but I know you like this horse, Zeb's Crafty, that McDonald's driving.
Yeah, I'm going to go with him, and that's the replay that we're going to show you now. You can see on his last line basically what he did for JR. He stayed to the inside, finished second in there in a dead heat, but only got beat a length in a bit. It was a good race, but I think this good form that Zeb's Crafty is bringing here started 2 weeks ago when James jumped up on him first. So let's take a look on the January 17th line of Zeb's Crafty, and McDonald coming right back tonight. So this is where I kind of started to notice him, and I thought last week he raced, you know, unbelievably well for JR as well. You know, so now I think that James is inheriting a really, really good drive. But like I said, that's why I'm showing you this. I think that this all started with Mr. McDonald and Zeb's Crafty. I like the way that James, even with a horse, he always seems to instill confidence into a horse. And most, you know, what I would consider to be great drivers do that. They will make a horse believe in themselves. And he has an innate ability to make a horse believe in himself. Now look at this. He's bringing him down here. I mean, he's got nowhere to go with this guy. I mean, you know, he chases him a little bit, but see what I mean though is that he does very little with him. So when a horse gets raced like that, does very little with him, they get good confidence. He's got horses in front of him. They'll come back the next week with a huge effort. And JR did the exact same thing. Kept him down in amongst them, finishes second in a dead heat, but comes good on the end of it. Look at the last quarter, 28 seconds. There's nothing even close to that in his last quarters, 28 flat in his last. James McDonald, what I think is picking up a very live Zeb's Crafty, and that's going to be my top pick in here.
Well, Mr. McDonald had a good night at the office last night, didn't he? Won a number of races.
4, I think.
Yeah, even though we didn't see very many of them,
No,
we did look
no.
at the results, and we know that he won a number of races on the card last night. Race number 2, second half of the early double, 5-year-olds and younger non-winners of 1. And, you know, I always like these races because we get some first-time starters, so horses making their first lifetime start under the lights, including Salzburg Rodeo, who goes out here for Josh McKibben, and Daryl Thiessen, who we've talked about winning last night's preferred, is going to have the call with this one here this evening. So that is, I believe, the lone first-time starter, yes. But the 5 is very interesting to me, and this is Count on Gourd. Chris Matthews trains this horse for Doug McNair. We know that this is a friendship that's solid gold. And Chris drove the horse for the qualifiers, and now it's time for Dougie.
Yeah, Dougie's going to take a ride behind Count on Gourd. I got him in for third. I like him too, but, you know, the 2 qualifiers, the first one, you know, he got picked off right on the end of it there, but still a decent kind of an effort. And then his last qualifier, I thought, was a lot stronger effort. That was a dirty, dirty day too. It was not a good weather. I would show you that qualifier, but there's not much of it you're going to see until you get right on the wire. So I got him in for third. 10 Carat Garrett. Love the name of this one. Jimmy Whalen going to be in town again. This guy raced really, really well. I mean, he was kind of bumped around a little bit with Jimmy out there, but, you know, it ended up being a real good effort that he put together. So I don't mind coming back to 10 Carat Garrett in there. Salzburg Rodeo, got him in for fourth. Don't you find that to be fitting, Salzburg Rodeo?
Of course, for
driven
Thiessen.
by,
perfect.
Isn't that
Yeah.
fantastic? I'm going to go the Ready in here, and let's take a look at the replay on the Ready. His last start, Burt Renault's been driving this guy 2 starts ago, made a break, and what a recovery he put together. Doesn't really show it, but the third quarter in 28-1, really a big one. Now, last week, gets away at the back of the pack, which you could sort of see coming off of a break. It was going to be another fast track. If he ends up making 2 breaks in a row on fast tracks, he's back in the morning qualifiers. So let's take a look at Burt, and I love the fact that Burt just sticks to this guy, and watch what this guy does deep into the lane, well into the tote board. Now, we're going to watch this replay because we're going to show it again, because that horse on the far outside is Hero Hanover.
Right.
And me and Elisa both like Hero Hanover tonight, and we're going to take another look at him. Look at Burt, way at the back of the pack with the Ready. This is a 4-year-old Better's Delight out of a Dragon Again mare. One of my favorite crosses, the Dragon Again. Now he stokes this little one going, and look at the legs on the end of it right here for this one. Makes a huge, huge ground up on that one. I think he's ready to go in here. Picks up McDonald tonight. I just hope that they get him a little bit closer, but he does show at Flamborough having the 6-hole, leading out of there, getting to the front in 29 and change. So I think that the ability's there. We're down to a field of 7 with the scratch of the 2, so the ready is the way that I'm going to go, but I like your horse too. Count on Gord.
All right, let's skip race number 3 and go over to race number 4 where we kick off the pick 6, and there's a carryover for that wager tonight. The carryover is more than $4,400, so if you want to play it, there's a great opportunity for you to make some cash on it tonight. Miraculous Desby is here with Louis Waugh doing the driving. He tried the Open back on January the 24th, came back on January the 31st to finish in 5th as the heavily backed favorite, so a bit of a disappointment there for the connections back on January the 31st, but he's got a little time. He's back here to go again tonight. Can he put it together this evening?
I mean, I think he's been kind of putting it together, but I'm starting to smell a horse that likes to be second and third. You know what I mean? Like a couple of these races, he could have won these races, but he didn't.
Well, I would say, I would argue with you on that one because Jabberwocky, I think, was meant to win when he won last time.
Yeah, I'm not saying just that, but I'm saying some of these other ones there. He had chances to win these races, and he just seemed to me like he wanted to be second by a neck, third by a little bit. Always has big movement on the end of it. He's a hunter. Seems to me like he likes to hunt horses, but he always seems to want to have that one just a little bit up ahead of him there. Now, he's taken a huge drop down, Miraculous Desby. I mean, he was racing an Open, and then that non-winners of 15,000. That's incredibly tough. Now he fits in non-winners of 9,200. I mean, this is a really, really big opportunity for Miraculous Desby, but I'm going to play against him. I'm going to go Uncle Shank. I thought that he raced very, very good in his last start for James McDonald. James has been sticking real close to this guy and had some broken equipment that he had to deal with as well in that last start. I think his form's good, but he is going to be a little bit of a stale date in here. The rest of them all raced January the 31st. He's coming in here at January the 24th, but he's got a nice post position to work with, and I think that James can get him a good trip.
Okay, here's a couple of other things. That broken equipment line for Uncle Shank, it was a shoe, all right? And Why Wouldn't You is a horse that I had put a star beside. I think you did too, back on January the 34th, because he had horse and nowhere to go.
He had all kinds of horse and nowhere to go, but the only thing with him, though, is he draws that rail. Last time he had the rail 2 down, he gets away 5th. That is a tough spot for a horse to get away. You're either staying in or you're pretty well first over.
I think I put him in for 4th just because, I was like, that trip bugged me last time because he did have a whole bunch of racehorse and just nowhere to go with them. But
Positive, though, is that we get Travis back.
Exactly, yeah, so that's a good thing as well. Okay, so that is race number 4 as we go to the 5th race, which is a pop-up series final. So these are horses that we've been seeing, and nobody better, I think, right now than a good old Code Cracker. He's looking for 4 wins in a row for the Cullen outfit. He's 4 for 5 this season. Like, when you think he's not a player, he's a serious player. I mean, he has shown us some great turns of foot lately in his races in the month of January. He's a confident horse. I don't see any reason why he can't win this race tonight, Randy.
I agree. He reminds me a lot of the other Cullen horse.
RB's
Tenacious T. The more he wins, the braver, the more confident he gets. So Code Cracker also, that's going to be the way that I'm going to go. I'm going to go 5-8 for an exactor.
Yeah, I put Tricky McWicky in too because, sometimes Tricky McWicky makes me a little nervous on the turns. But then once he straightens out, I'm feeling a little bit better about him. I just think he's run into a bit of a bearcat tonight.
Yeah, I like Tricky McWicky when he's got Tricky McNair on him.
And he does this evening. All right, let's go to the 6th race. Non-winners of 12 in their last 4, and you get a field of 7. Now, I went to Lose World again tonight with this horse, and simply because we're going to try going back to James. And, when they had James with this horse on January 14th, they win. The race on December the 20th, it's just not good, right? I mean, he's the favorite.
Fractions were too much.
Yeah, he's going a bit too fast, and he got leg weary, and you can understand that just if taking a look at the times of that race. I mean, opening quarters in 26 and 4, 27 and 4. They're going fast. So he's got an excuse there. I think tonight with James back, we see him in a I think we see him in the winner's circle.
Well, I mean, you're going to get paid.
Yeah,
You know, 4-1 morning line, but he's going to go off at bigger odds than that.
Because, I think Get Wings is a horse that I know you like. And Get Wings has proven to the valedictory that he's a good racehorse. You know, he could be any type, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And I don't know what to make of the Osceola horses still.
Yeah, I mean, well, Jack Panic, I threw him in for fourth of Carmen's, so I'm going to throw him in a little bit. I think all bets on Tex. I got him in for third. I think he's racing good. I didn't use Lose World, but I have in the past. I see where you're going with him. Didn't use Wallace Hartley, and he was very live on the inside in his last start. Major Perry, big first up effort from him last week. They're going to go from open to a set of blinkers on him, changing things up, and Louis picks him up. I'm going to go Get Wings, and then we're going to show you the replay on him. Now, hear me out on this. On January the 31st, Paul McKenzie was in town because I think Jody was at the O'Brien Awards, and Paul drove him his last start, and I mean, it just didn't work. Paul was trying to let Jabberwocky go, and it was a wrestling match, and Paul was losing with Get the Wings. I've never seen that side of Get the Wings, so we're going to show you the replay from 2 down, where he raced in non-winners of 9,000. Now, the start before that, he races in the same class that he's racing in here tonight. Jody, he just won the valedictory, had 16 days off. Jody just gives him an easy trip, finishes third, but trust me, it was a live third. Then he comes back his very next start into non-winners of 9,000 and absolutely annihilates them on the chop. He didn't need a trip, he did his own trip. Then his next start is the one that it just did not work for Paul. So let's take a look at Jody, 2 starts down with Get the Wings, where he didn't seem to have any problem. Almost a bookend in this trip too. 27-3 out of there, 27-4 on the way home. He had the 6-hole this day. Tonight he's got the 7-hole, middle of the gate again. But in my opinion, in this race, he is so much the best. And then when he heads into this next class, I just don't see where he is not competitive. Now, this is a nice bunch, but you know who scares me the most, Elisa? Is the 1 horse.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about him, Rochester Flash, because this is where we find Daryl Thiessen. Thiessen had been driving Lose World, and he's driven this Rochester Flash in a qualifier for Myrner, and that's where he goes.
One time, and stays with them. And I'm telling you, just look at the lines that Rochester Flash is bringing, Elisa. Look at the times, the last quarters. Yeah. You know what I mean?
He's a neat horse, too.
This is a good horse. He's just been off of a break. He has last race November the 8th, and now he's got 2 qualifiers under his belt. Comes from a very, very sharp stable in Gary Myrner. Picks up Daryl Thiessen. He obviously liked him in the qualifier where he went down the road and was a winner with him in there. But he does draw the rail. Sometimes the rail can be a little bit tricky, so I'm going to throw him in for second.
All right, let's go to race number 7. The 7th race is for 5-year-olds and younger, non-winners of 1. And this is a race that Randy and I really agree on with the 3-horse Hero Hanover. He hooked up with a first-timer back on January the 31st by the name of Cardinal Creed. And he was a firster from the Spence barn. He was getting all kinds of support, too. When we were doing the pregame show, he was the overwhelming favorite, and he stayed there, and he raced like the favorite because he ended up getting a nice win. But Hero Hanover finished third to him, and tonight could be his night. He's got to go back against Corona Sealster, who was second in that race as well, but it's the 3 and the 4 for me.
Yeah, I completely agree with you as well. That's the way that I'm going to go. Now, let's take a look at the replay of Hero Hanover. We already seen it. We've shown it to you. Now, in this replay, you can see he makes multiple breaks coming out of the gate and had the 3-hole, same as he's got tonight, but made a break and made a break. In my opinion, he was just a little bit too hot, and which is for a Captain Treacherous, sometimes you don't really see that, but he is out of a well-said mare, and sometimes they can throw the switch.
I remember saying to you, too, how much the best was this horse in this race. If he didn't make the break, he would have won it by 3.
Right. So here he is making this huge recovery, and there's no way Ralphie Boyd's going to be out here 4 deep with this guy unless he thought he had the goods. And that's, it's not going to work for Nicky this time, but it's not going to be because he doesn't have faith in this horse. Obviously he does. The horse has got a lot of speed, keeps coming forward, had a good start the race before where he finished third in there to run the hills. I think he's a horse that's just, kind of learning his way right now, but look at him coming in again. He's, other than Dale's horse, he's really the only horse that has anything left on the end of it. And to tell you the truth, maybe about 3/4 of the way down the lane, Ralphie more or less called it off. He knew that the horse had already come a big mile. He wasn't going to reach, so why bother? He's going to be third no matter what. So I think that Hero Hanover, as long as Ralphie can get a clean trip out of him, I think he's the horse to beat.
I would agree with you. So that's race number 7 on the card tonight as we go to race number 8. Non-winners of 6,000 in their last 4. Now, you get Maneri's horse, What You Looking At, who gets Louis here tonight, coming in off of a second-place finish behind Jack Panic. You have Stonebridge Helios here for Paul Court, and his barn has been very, very good as of late. They've won with a number of horses coming off of the layoff and off of just one qualifier. This horse was third last start out off of the qualifier. Elliot Moose is here for the Cullens. Ethereum Party is here for Jake Roberts, and this horse gets a little bit of relief here tonight. He's been racing against the likes of, Blue Bar in his last few starts, and he doesn't have to worry about him because he's in the opener on the card.
Yeah, where did you go?
I went to Maneri, What You Looking At. Third last start out behind Jack Paddock and Jordy N, and that Jordy N horse came back to win the next start out.
Right. Okay. So in December the 27th, What You Looking At finishes 5th in there. But trust me, that was a really good effort. I mean, you can even, he come a last third quarter 28 and then polishes it off with 27 flat on the end of it. He was really good. Then he misses a month and comes out. And even though he finishes third in there, I had it down as a good effort, but I just had it down as bad positioning. I think he was out of position and he never was able to make up that kind of ground, So now he misses a week and then comes back. Now, again, I wouldn't panic about any of Maneri's horses missing a week because he more or less gave his whole stable the night off for the O'Brien Awards so that they could all go and enjoy the O'Brien Awards. Maneri's raced absolutely nothing in that last weekend. So I think that this guy is just getting back into a good groove, and he's picking up Louis tonight, and he's going to be my top pick. What you looking at?
Yeah, I'm with you as well. So that is the 8th. The 9th race is the feature race for the night tonight, the open pace. We do have a scratch in this race. It's a weather scratch. There's only a couple of weather scratches tonight. Cold Creek Queso is out of this one, which gets us down to a field of 7, and the Maneri horses return here tonight. As you mentioned, they were off last week because they were over dancing at the O'Brien Awards. Well, Larry was doing the dancing.
Darn right.
And Brew Hanover's back. It's Saturday night. The big monster is back here tonight, but and I know how you feel about Maneri, that don't panic if they missed a week, but does Tarasi maybe have a slight upper hand because he did race last week?
Oh, I think that, I mean, I would say that he does have a bit of an advantage. Usually on the good days, Tarasi can beat Brew Hanover, and when Brew Hanover has a better date, obviously he gets the best of Tarasi. The only thing that kind of bothered me a little bit was that Tarasi didn't finish it off without Brew Hanover being here last week, and that bugged me a little bit. So I'm going to put him in for third. I wouldn't be the least bit shocked if he decided to beat me, but I am going to throw him in for third. I'm going to go back to Brew Hanover. I've played against him different times, and he keeps coming back with the wins. I just think that right now he's the guy to beat, and he's going to have another good draw to work with in here. A lot of the power is on the outside, and one of his biggest competitions is going to be the 6 horse who comes from the same stable. So I just think that Brew Hanover's lining up in a real good spot again.
You know what's interesting? 4 different cappers in this race and 4 different selections.
There you go.
Right?
That's good.
We got people with
Well
Tarasi, people with Brew, people with It's Saturday Night as well. So we'll be looking forward to that. Race number 9 on the programs where we kick off the final pick 3 for the evening. 10th race to kick off the late double 5-year-olds and younger nominators at $2 or $30,000. And did we ever have a nice a debut for the 2-horse, Better Things Ahead? He had that qualifier. It was an impressive qualifier on January the 16th, and he was super, super impressive in his career debut on January the 24th. Won easily that day with McDonald for Maneri, and I don't see any reason why he can't come right back and do it again.
Completely agree. Let's take a look at the replay. Because to me the line doesn't do the trip justice.
Right? Yeah, you got to watch it.
Yeah, he was first over, and it's the way that he just powers right on by them. This is a Better's Delight colt out of a Western Ideal mare. This is my favorite cross. I like anything with Dragon Again on the mare side, but anything with Western Ideal is my favorite cross. Ever since Most Happy Fellow, that was my original cross on the mare's end. Then went to Jate Lobel, then Western Ideal. But again, I do like the Dragon Again on the bottom of it as well. So look at this point here. It looks like maybe Dougie's got the best of him with American Road Trip. He was taking a lot of action too. Had a good trip, a good race the week before. Just couldn't get to run to the hills. But right now, you can tell there, Dougie senses what's going on. He takes a look over and gives the head a shake. And here comes James. And James is just rocketing on by, and with the easiest of victories. And even on the run out, you can just see that James's horse is just all powerful up there. Ears are still twitching back and forth. It didn't tire him out in the least. Big, strong colt, too.
Yeah.
So better things ahead is the way I'm going.
And what did he get? 2 taps.
Yeah, 2
that
taps.
That was it. I mean, that was easy peasy lemon squeezy. So race
Dougie
number
looking
10.
over at James there, shaking his head, reminded me of all them years that I had to watch the Greek go by me all the time.
Hey, you know what that
Darn
just
blue and
reminded me
white.
of too? You know what I went back and watched the other night was the Ontario, the series that OLG did.
Oh.
And you saw the
Right.
battle between James and Doug. And
Right,
it's
right.
quite fun.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like in your time, it was you and Chris. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just 2 different people with the same battle.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah, there always seems to be the top 2 guys got to go to war, eh?
But they're always friends off track, right? When you get on the racetrack, things change. Race number 11 is how we wrap things up tonight. Non-winners 2,500 in their last 4. I think a scratch in here that's kind of significant. That's Call Me It. I was putting him on top tonight, Randy, because you know what? I know that this is a horse who struggled with some issues. I have spoken to Katerina Bosniak about this horse last year a couple of times, and there was like a infection that he had, and then she thought she had it cleared up, and then he came back, it kind of reared its angry head again, and he had a lot of excuses to maybe not be himself last winter. But I thought the last race from him was a good one, so I had him tabbed for tonight. He's out, and with him being out, I'm going to land on my second choice, and that's Harry G for the Gillis barn, because McDonald's going to go back to him again tonight.
Yeah, and anytime James drives him, the horse
Seems to
races
get
good
along.
for him. Seems to get along with him. Got a good draw to work with, and I'm going to go Soaring Now. I went with him last week on top. Maybe I was a little bit ahead of it because he'd had that time off and just had the one qualifier to work with, and he got beat in the qualifier last quarter in 31 seconds. So maybe but he fits this non-winners at 2,500, and you can still see where he raced in the Open. Right. And mark a 47-4 last year over our track, 6 for 19. He knows how to win races, this guy, but he's just recently had time off. I thought that the first start back was a decent one. He didn't make up a lot of ground, but he didn't lose much ground either. Now he comes right back in here. Look at him in the qualifier, January the 3rd, first race, January 31st. Like he missed 4 weeks between qualifier and the one start. This race has to have him set up, I think, for this level of horses. So I'm going to take a chance on Soaring Now, but Call Me It has to be so frustrating because I've always said that this is a very deep horse, really is. She's done a great job with him. It's got to be frustrating for her.
Especially when you have an issue that the horse just is not quite getting over.
Yeah.
And then every time she thought it was clear and he was good to go, came right
Then
back
it comes
again.
back again.
So
Yeah.
frustrating. And again, she scratched tonight due to weather, unfortunately. Alrighty. What do we have to chit-chat about now? Oh, just before we get into that, a reminder about that high five carryover. It's over $147,000. Randy's got an early pick 5 to pass along your way.
Yeah, some singles and some alls tonight. So my first single is going to come along in race number 2. That is going to be Varetti. Alling. Race number 3. I like Sometime Somewhere. I had him up on top last week. He didn't disappoint, but this is a race that I think that we could have a different winner almost every week right now. So I'm going to all that one. And then in race number 5, my single is going to be Code Cracker.
All right, and he is probably the best single, I think, on tonight's program.
Looking for the sweep of the pop-up.
Code Cracker. You've got to pick 6 too.
Yes, I do. So in my pick 6, and again in race number 5, I'm going to single Code Cracker. Race number 7, I'm going to single the 3-horse Hero Hanover. We showed you that replay. Race number 8, I'm going to go with What You Looking At. Me and Elisa both like him tonight. And then in race 9 in the Open, I'm going to all
Good
this
idea.
one. You know
Good
what I mean?
idea.
Because this is a very even group too. And if we're not going to see the best of Tarasi or Brew, whoever else wins, I think we're going to get a pay.
I think so too. That's a smart move. And then you have a late pick 5 too.
Yeah. So then in race number
6.
singles, race number 8, that is going to be a single of the 2-horse. Again, What You Looking At. Then I'm alling race 9. And then in race number 10, Better Things
idea.
Ahead will
Yeah.
be my single.
I think I sent out a late pick 5. Yeah, it starts in race number 6. So I have just the one single, and it's in the 10th race where I've singled the 2-horse Better Things Ahead. But it's, play it for 20 cents. It won't cost you $48. We'll see if we can get it home for you. We've got some plays of the night to pass along your way as well. And what do you have for this evening, Randy?
Okay, starting off in race number 1, and it's going to be Zeb's Crafty has beat the favorite. After that, it's going to be race number 6. That's Get Wings. He's going to be my worth a look from the outside, and up, in tough class. Waples Watch, Hero Hanover. We showed you the replay on him in race number 7, and All In, Better Things Ahead in race number 10.
Well, I'm only going to have 3 tonight because my long shot pick got scratched, unfortunately. That's Call Me It, who was supposed to be in the 11th. But I've had a few people ask, what is a purple patch? Well, if you don't watch thoroughbred racing, then you wouldn't know. But Robert Geller, our caller at Woodbine, will always say that a horse is in a purple patch, Randy, when everything's going his way, when it's just couldn't get any better. And that is what Code Cracker is. So if you don't know what it is, Google it. Maiden Score, Hero Hanover tonight, and Better Things Ahead, who had that impressive debut, I think is right back into the winner's circle this evening. The Ready is a top selection for Garnet Barnsdale. It's Saturday night, the Big Hoss. He's back in tonight in race number 9 for Kevin Plocha. You might get a price on him tonight, too. And Ghislaine Paquette's got Beechin Lindy at 8-1 as a long shot for the jackpot high 5. So take a closer look at that horse as well. What else do we have to chat about? The big game night.
The big game.
Somebody said there's something big happening tomorrow.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So it is Super Bowl Sunday. I stopped at the grocery store on the way to come here tonight, and it is jam-packed with people stocking up on Super Bowl snacks.
No way. Wow.
What are you baking for tomorrow?
I'm not baking anything because we have to work, but I can tell you this.
Aren't you bringing anything in?
Nope, I'm bringing myself in. I'm not touching anything for food because last year I watched the Super Bowl, had keg, woke up the next morning with COVID.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm gonna be lucky if I have popcorn this year.
So we've got that taking place tomorrow. We've got some Valentine's Day promotions that we're looking forward to as well. You can get your girlfriend or boyfriend a Woodbine Mohawk toque.
Yes.
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 Yes. I think
Very
I'd
romantic.
suggest, maybe some roses with that toque, or maybe a nice dinner out, and then you give her the
I don't know.
toque.
That's pretty nice too.
So that is coming your way as well on February the 14th. We got 11 races for you on this Saturday night. They've just made the call for 2 minutes. Horses will be on the track shortly for the opener.